So, Headmaster's office. What's the worst that can happen?
The headmaster's office. I remember being here as a young girl. At least I think I was. Someone's coming. What do I do?
Unqualified disaster. And on the eve of the arrival, no less.
Everything is fine, sir.
Fine? You were assaulted by a Prizrak. And you let altered copies of the manifesto reach the
I
children.
have the situation under control.
I'm beginning to think your definition of control is different than mine. They don't respect you because you don't wear the uniform. It's a weakness. It puts you at risk. This is an historic night for us.
Okay, I hate to interrupt a cutscene again, but this is actually kind of important. There's a missable piece of intel here that we can only see right here, right now, during this cutscene, in this exact couple of seconds. It's the inside of that drawer. Game design.
Looks like a Soviet-made Tokarev service pistol. I don't believe Mireille saw him slip that gun from the drawer.
It actually doesn't count for completion, but it would be real sad to miss.
There can be no room for error.
I understand.
Then you understand why Derringer will lead the arrival.
What?
I'm sorry, my dear. We all appreciate the fine work you do with the kids. But you lost sight of what's most important. Protecting me.
So, I can lead the arrival.
Mireille, you speak the language of diplomacy. Derringer speaks the truth. Truth hurts. This isn't a dismissal. Derringer will still need your help when we get reset.
Yes, sir. The mentor is an asset to our cause. I look forward to hearing her ideas going forward.
What's your step?
She's weak.
I hope that's all it is. Where was Mireille when the Prizrak attacked her?
The section, outside the library. I'll look into it.
It's hard to know who to trust these days. It seems we're running a loyalty deficit around here. I don't mean you, Quinn, of course. I know I can trust you. Wait. I never forgot this before. Must be old age.
No chance, sir. You just got a lot on your mind tonight.
Quite so. Come, young man, let's get to the surface.
It sounds like that door leads to the surface. The door's locked. I can't go any further.
Welp, no amount of hacking will open that. But what has just been unlocked is a lot of intel. And if you think we're going to leave this room with less questions than we came in with, you haven't been paying attention.
Librarian, may I come in?
Ah, Headmaster, welcome. Ay, Dios mío, who is this fierce creature?
It's an Ainu owl, librarian. My ancestors carved these from the amber trunks of Japanese spindle trees. I want you to have this one. Modest housewarming gift, nothing more.
Well, muchas gracias, señor. It's a handsome piece. I shall place it here on this shelf.
No. Lend it a bit more prominence. It's meant to be set out in the open.
Ah,
This way it can bring you luck.
well, it's...
The eyes. Yes. They are a touch piercing. But that's the idea, you see. The owl is ever watchful. He will protect you, day and night.
Ah, yes, well, it's truly, how can I put it?
Oh, you're welcome.
Ever watchful. Christ. I do quite enjoy the librarian's attempts to be tactful, though. So yeah, in case it wasn't incredibly obvious, the owl is a camera. A quite fully featured one, too. I wonder if anyone in Metamorphosis ever notices the cameras moving around. I've kind of lost count of the number of things in this chapter that bode fantastically.
Gentlemen, I wish to resign. This is grossly inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
You are burning books. I have seen it with my own eyes. The books I procured for you.
Each book has been scanned into our servers and is now part of our digital catalog. You're merely hung up on nostalgia.
You are erasing history.
These books are my property now. I can do with them as I please.
No. I cannot be a party to this. I wish to leave immediately.
First you want to resign, now you want to leave?
I assume the implication was apparent.
You're not going anywhere.
You cannot keep me here against my will.
In fact, I can. You, like the books, are now property of the state. You will continue to fulfill your obligations to the pre-cals until I decide what to do with you.
I have a few suggestions, sir.
Fantastically.
You just acquired a fingerprint from that glass. Normally, the overseer wouldn't be so careless as to leave a usable print. But recently, in celebration of Zager's capture, the big man poured himself a stiff drink, and for a moment, let his guard down. Those pristine white gloves came off, and he was one of us for a day.
If you were wondering whether all this was optional, well, here's your answer. This fingerprint and the lock that you might infer exists because of it is the reason why you have to come here in order to finish the chapter. Not to imply, of course, that all of this lore isn't its own reward.
Welcome back to Washington. How's the weather in your corner of the world? What if I tell you, are you going to try to guess my location? No, I've about given up on that. It's been insufferably hot in D.C. Then why are we meeting here? I'm sorry? Why not do this on the isn't built yet. What? I was told construction began a month after the attack. This is the U.S. government you're talking about. Maybe you've heard of us. Our contractors get paid twice as much to take twice as long. Unbelievable. Right this way, sir. Watch your step. Please, sit. Coffee?
I want a whistleblower.
Coffee?
I'm serious.
We can talk about that.
We're going to have to talk about that. If you want to hand the reins to someone who won't let the horse forget who's in charge.
I'm afraid I don't follow you.
That's your problem. You've got too many leaders and not enough followers. You should be following me. All of you should.
Okay, let's table that for a second. Say we get you a plant, and this plant blows his whistle in a year.
Or 2 months.
Or whenever. They're still not about to dismantle their entire surveillance infrastructure over some bad press.
I'm afraid you're right. This is where I need your help, Vice Admiral. If you get me on board and in command, then it won't matter how red their faces turn, or if they turn red at all. They won't have to privatize under pressure either. I'll already hold the reins. But we'll give it a name. Carnival. The Arrival. It doesn't matter. And we'll play act our way into the driver's seat.
I can't even imagine.
Leave imagination to me.
Well, I don't even know where to begin with that, so instead I'll just note that the inscription on this pin, ex nihilo nihil fit, means nothing comes from nothing. It's an expression that can give you a lot to ruminate over if you're the philosophical sort. Anyway, we've heard something from almost every main character in this room. There's only one we haven't heard from yet, so let's fix that.
Dawnmaster faces swift reprimand. Mireille Prideaux found with contraband. Overseer, none of us are above the law.
Miss Sade, it has been a pleasure speaking to you, but I must get up early tomorrow.
Look, I'm turning off my tape recorder. This is no longer an interview, we're just two people talking. Perhaps one more glass?
A short one then.
Where do you get the wine from? I thought we weren't allowed contraband from the outside world.
Off the record? I have been here long enough. I am allowed certain liberties.
You receive special treatment?
I know how big my cage is. At the end of the day, we are all equally inferior in the eyes of the Overseer. Don't you dare print that, Miss Sade.
I promise. Strictly off the record.
Poor Mireille. Absolutely everybody in this place, even the librarian, has managed to get one over on her. With all of that done, let's take a look at our map and see where we're going. Now that we've increased the stability of our system software to 2.0, we can enter the librarian's office, and also the slightly confusingly rendered area off to the left here. It's not immediately obvious just from looking at the map, but it's actually a very handy stairwell that connects the 3 floors of the library. It's going to cut down on what would otherwise be an incredibly annoying amount of backtracking. I don't know exactly where those voices are carrying from. Also, the guard that used to be unconscious in here has mysteriously disappeared.
You now have what you need to access the librarian's office. I know the girl is anxious to find him.
Believe me, there's plenty of anxiety to go around on that count. Let's avail ourselves of our new shortcut. Oh, right. Footstep sounds. Well, whatever. This is probably fine. See, that guy highlighted in orange down there is the guy who heard us. He's not gonna come up here. We're fine. So yeah, the game conveniently forgets to mention that the X-ray skill also allows you to see the state of the guards that you're looking at through the walls. They're either passive, or investigating, or actively hostile. Yellow, orange, and red. It's a great feature. X-ray fucking rules. Now, as I said before, the map does not do a good job actually representing what the inside of this little area actually feels like. Just remember, it's a staircase, it's very straightforward, and you'll be fine. There's the lock we need the fingerprint for. It's not obvious why we'd need to go in there yet, and even if we did go in there it wouldn't be, but just remember that it's there. Anyway, I reflexively park Hope in a locker before scouting ahead. It's a good tactic. Einander here is the 8th and final guard in this chapter, and he's carrying the 8th and final video game. Damn it. Let me just make doubly sure that that guard isn't about to investigate up here. Nope, he's fine. Okay. Now, it's my powerful instinct to tase our friend down there. After all, he's in an area with a couple things we need to investigate, and he's got a short patrol route, and also one of the long patrolling guys comes through here. But I feel like trying to play this game properly for a minute. So let's actually make an honest attempt to not break out the tasers. This time. When he turns around, he's going to walk into that weird little hallway down there, and that will probably give us enough time to raid the locker and then run up the stairs.
I'll check his pockets. Got it. pockets are full.
Right, full on pepper spray, of course. I don't know what's supposed to be the purpose of this booth up here. I mean, it looks like it's there for housing some machinery, but there's like a chair up here, and a guy's been sat there, obviously with a very, very illegal book. So it must be for something. If nothing else, it's the cause of the map here looking so confusing, so I hate it for that as well. By the way, you definitely did not see me miss a tutorial poster.
You found me a good spot.
Definitely not.
They won't find me in here.
I definitely won't be coming back for it later. Okay, I've had a great and resource-efficient idea.
Zero at the ready. I found some pepper spray.
Say it with me, kids. Perfect crime. And right when I thought it couldn't get any better, I noticed the tasers.
I found a taser.
8 tasers. Anyway, this was fun, but where we actually need to be is on the second floor, so let's leave this guy to his bleary-eyed and angry investigation, and go finally check in on the librarian. Now, since we were able to accomplish all of that bullshit without running into the slightly less annoying of the two long patrolling guards in this level, yeah, that guy, well, I was gonna say it would probably behoove us to make sure we're not about to run into him outside, but I guess we've taken care of that. Now that we know what the area behind all these locked doors looks like, we can get a much better idea of his actual patrol route. He basically runs a circle around the second floor balconies, checking in on the top floor of the museum and then running around the inside of the stairwell to complete the circle, and back out along here. He can be very annoying. Okay, there's one last conceptually small but unexpectedly time-consuming diversion to take care of here. And that's that we can now unlock some things in the museum with our new hacking powers. The first of them is this lockbox. It's a really good idea to hack this lockbox.
It's quiet tonight.
Screwdriver.
That's because screwdrivers should be considered to be of critical importance. We are once again running a surplus, which is going to make our life a little bit easier in the next chapter. The second unlockable is downstairs, and represents another opportunity for us to probably run into CVX at the worst possible time. But let's try and avoid that outcome. Hearing the sound of a nearby Prizrak report compels me to open the map. And sure enough, CVX is right about to walk out of that door. The good news is he's going to be patrolling away from us after he comes out of there, so we're pretty much in the clear. Anyway, here's what we came for.
Taser.
Even more tasers. With this pickup, I'm finally able to confirm something I've long suspected. That the inventory cap for tasers is 9. I guess for full resource efficiency, I could go and tase one of the other random guards in this chapter and go and pick up that last remaining taser in the box. But there's really no point. I get paranoid and double check on CVX here, but he's fine. We're safe here.
Good idea.
Anyway, that's everything down here, so let's get back to our objective.
My battery was getting low.
There's only one thing left that can possibly go wrong on our way. And sure enough, there he is, right across the balcony. Fuck it. Let's go for it.
No sign of the girl.
Sightlines? What the fuck are sightlines? Now, for whatever reason, it doesn't occur to me right here to check out our latest book and video game acquisitions and hear everybody's thoughts on them, so we're gonna have to wait a little while for that. But in retrospect, it's probably more thematically appropriate to just press on at this point. After all, Hope is a little bit concerned about the librarian. And we're like right here.
He's just up these stairs. Librarian! Librarian! Senor Octavo? Librarian! Oh no! You're making it up! Stop it. Stop it! It's okay. I should watch this.
The girl activated a video that appears to have been recorded only moments ago. I presume it relates to the dead librarian. It's important that we determine what happened. However, she's not accustomed to witnessing violence. It's difficult to anticipate how it will affect her.
And so, a dilemma. A really good moral dilemma is less a matter of making you weigh up the resolutions to the immediate situation at hand and how they'll affect your Paragon and Renegade meters, and more a matter of making you question what good is. We're helping Hope escape from this overbearing surveillance state because it's good, but now we're being asked to keep something from her, simply out of concern that she might not be able to handle the brutal nature of the world. So what's right here? Does Hope deserve to see it, or does she deserve not to? Would keeping it from her be cruel or compassionate? Would knowing all the details help her come to terms with what's happened, or would it simply compound her trauma? The only certainty is that Hope won't be making this decision herself. She's deferred to us, and so I'm deferring to you. Vote in the thread on how to proceed, and I'll enact your decision next time.